to Science with Danielle. This week I'm going to be showing you 2 different experiments. So the first one kind of was a fail, but that is an important part of science, is trying things, failing, and then reevaluating, going back and seeing what you can change to hopefully have a success. I will not be trying this again though, because it just did not go well at all the first time. So the first experiment I saw and I was like, oh, this is cool. It will be a good way to show you a physical chemical change rather than like the elephant toothpaste where I went through an entirely, I had an exothermic reaction and I went through an entirely different change of state. So it's called the expanding soap experiment, where you put a soap bar in the microwave and it's supposed to expand because there's air particles in the soap bar that make it expand, and it goes through a physical change, gets bigger, and then it doesn't change what it is, so it could go back into that original form. That's why it's just a physical change. Well, I apparently got a scented soap bar and I put in the microwave, as you'll see, and it kind of starts to like bubble and it looks like it's boiling, and then I noticed some like kind of steam or smoke coming off the microwave, and I opened the microwave and it smells so bad. So my entire apartment started to smell, but I still wanted to show you because it's really important to recognize that I make mistakes, you're gonna make mistakes, and that's a part of the science process. So I still want you to be able to see what happened, but do not try this at home. Now for the experiment that you can try at home. So we're going to be looking at what affects how quickly ice melts. So ice is the solid form of water, and it has a 0 degrees Celsius freezing point and melting point. So that's where it's changing between a liquid and a solid state of matter. It's 32 degrees Fahrenheit if you wanted to know that. So once it reaches that temperature, the water molecules will freeze, and then once it'll get cooler and stay frozen, and then once it warms up again to above that point, it'll start to melt. But temperature isn't the only thing that affects when water or ice will melt. So if you add different things into water, it becomes a soluble solution. So it is an entirely different chemical solution because those water molecules are combining with whatever other molecules that you put in it, and then it's creating a new solution. So those dissolved chemical substances that are in the water are called the solute, or the soluble substance. So you can try different things like salt, sugar, flour, anything. You can even try another liquid like vinegar, anything that will mix with the water to change that temperature point. You can go ahead and try out. So you want to make sure though that whatever you put in the water is completely dissolved, that it creates a homogeneous kind of solution. So you're not going to see those extra particles in the water that you're going to create. So I did my experiment a little differently. I just froze water to make ice cubes, and then I poured different substances on top of it and then observed how that affected it. But I want you to go ahead and try to mix those substances in with the water before you freeze it and then see what happens. You're going to need some small plastic or paper cups, you're going to need water, you're going to need some different substances that you want to test out. For example, I recommend using salt, sugar, flour, anything that you think would dissolve within the water that you have at your home. So you're going to mix the same amount of water with the different substances so that you have that control, that you know that it's the same amount of water that's in each cube that you're going to make. So once you decide how much water fits in each cup and that you want to mix with your substances, go ahead and make sure that you mix in your substances so that it's all dissolved, and throw your cups in the freezer. Wait until they're completely frozen and grab a Muffin Tin Pan. So this is where you're going to watch your ice cubes melt. You don't want to get the water all over the place, so Muffin Tin Pan is a perfect tool to use that will hold all the water. So then you're going to take all your cubes out, make sure you label them somehow so that you know what is in each ice cube, and then you're just going to sit and watch your ice melt and see which substance makes it melt faster, slower, didn't really affect it at all. Make sure that you have one ice cube that is just water so that you can compare it to what just water would be.